A kind day to you all! I am Kinsmarck, and consider this a short follow-up to yesterday's episode covering the story about Elianora hiding all of her mods on the Nexus to call attention to the practices of ModDrop, a sketchy-seeming mod management app and website. As of this airing, all of Ellie's mods are officially unhidden and are available for all once again, because she feels that enough attention was raised for her cause, and her immediate mission was therefore accomplished. So, short time span for all of her stuff going dark, and I can imagine a lot of people consider that some seriously good news. I can't say I've actually got a whole lot to add to the coverage of this story at this point, and I actually haven't got time to do any further investigation into it, if I'm honest, because I'm actually packing to leave town for the holidays at the moment, so for one, this is where my outline for this episode cuts off, and I actually do have a few points of information that I'd like to clarify that I came across after yesterday's episode aired, so here goes. Concerning the Stardew Valley mod manager that I saw a few mentions on some of the comment threads that I read and did feature in yesterday's episode, apparently the reason for the Nexus having removed that from their site was because they require any mod management software distributed through their network to have an open source code, and apparently the ModDrop folks were not willing to do that for their software, so especially because of some clashes that had apparently happened in the past there, the Nexus just decided that, alright, if you're not going to play our game the way that we have our rules set, then you can just take it elsewhere. A clarification about the staffing of ModDrop: I have learned that it just consists of 2 people. A Skylar Kreisher, the company president, and one other person. I can't tell exactly who that is. And one of them represents the company on Reddit under the username ModScientist. And curiously, that person claims that ModDrop haven't ever profited from their service, despite also claiming that they themselves work on it as a full-time endeavor, so one really wonders what's actually paying their rent and how they're getting along day to day, all things considered. Apparently there is some mention in a few places of ModDrop having received some investments from other companies, although I can't find any information of a concrete nature to solidify any of those claims, so at this point consider that hearsay. Also, clarification regarding whether or not ModDrop actually are hosting instead of linking to content that is from the Nexus or even other sites that have explicit instructions to never distribute them anywhere except for the place they were originally posted. I did come across a few things because I took the plunge and I decided to explore the ModDrop site and see if I could do some actual first-hand research for myself as I checked around after I covered this yesterday. And I couldn't find many, if I'm completely honest. However, I did find a few, especially after following a few links that some folks posted on forum threads on the Nexus, as well as on Reddit. And I did find a few. In particular, it was texture mods that I found a handful of that had explicit instructions in their descriptions on the Nexus that they are not to get redistributed anywhere else. And they were, in fact, available for download from ModDrop. And as far as I could tell, the download that was available wasn't coming from a linked download to the Nexus servers, because again, Dark One refused to allow that link to take place, and there is, I've already linked to the thread proving that. Apparently Robin has some misgivings with the ModDrop team, and so refused to cooperate with them on a professional level. So if that file is available for download on ModDrop, that means that yeah, it was re-uploaded to ModDrop without any say-so or permission from the original uploader, and that ain't okay, because that actually is content theft, straight up. So, as far as I can tell, ModDrop aren't officially taking an enabling stance about that. They're attempting to say that, alright, this is technically against our terms of service, people aren't supposed to upload content from other people onto our service, so the fault really falls onto the users that are doing the uploading. Color me skeptical about how earnest they are about saying that, because with a team that consists, apparently, of just a couple of people, you're either in way over your head, you're naive in the extreme to think that you can curate as active a community as any real modding community is with just that few people. You need a community manager, you need a team of moderators, so this is either them doing an absolutely atrociously, dangerously poor job of curating their system, or of them trying to make it just seem as such so that they can enable poor practices and then thereby profit off of them. I think it's a combination thereof, if I'm completely honest. I think these guys have a romanticized idea in their heads of what they want ModDrop to turn into and what they want it to ascend to, because apparently it was founded on the notion of especially enshrining mods concerning games that the communities have since fallen apart for, stuff like the old Planet X insert game here mod sites where a lot of content was uploaded and then all those servers fell through, so all those mods just sort of evaporated into the aether, and they were supposedly founded on the idea of curating mods that there just isn't any other place to find them. And that one couldn't find the original uploaders to secure permissions for, etc. And that last part I'm always like, I understand not wanting things to evaporate. At the same time, though, I also appreciate permissions and creative rights, and just because you can't find someone to say it's okay, that doesn't mean you can just go over their heads just because you can't find them and make it okay. That's not how creative rights work. So anyway, all that is to say, one wonders whether, pardon me, geez, my throat is not prepared for actually conducting myself on camera today. Actually malicious in intent, it does seem as though, at the very least, they are dangerously naive and inept. And so that enough is reason for me to say steer clear of it until this company matures personally and professionally, and they expand enough to actually have staff enough to run their friggin' site the way that any site of its ilk should get run. Yeah, like, obviously at worst, they're content thieves through and through, and even at least, they are dangerously in over their heads to the point of putting many, many, many others at risk through the use of their service, and either way, that isn't okay, and I'd certainly advise you guys to steer clear of it. I couldn't actually find all that much aside from just a couple of YouTubers whom I'm not going to name here because the comments have already made those accusations clearly, and I'm just not one to enjoy the hurling of mud around the YouTube sphere, because I just don't like getting into the drama of all that. And apparently one of them has already come forward and said that they made a mistake and that they shouldn't have accepted the sponsorship through ModDrop. So, I mean, at least progress is getting made there. I'm not about to speculate about the sincerity there, because I don't even know this person. I can't say I've ever followed them. So I couldn't give any meaningful input there. So anyway, all of that is the information that I have uncovered since the airing of yesterday's episode. Apologies, I know this one is much less organized because, again, I'm operating without any outline here. This is just me combing through some of my own comments and notes, and also racking my mind to say, like, ah, crap, I did find some of those extra things, and I wanted to share those guys with you so that, again, as much informed discussion can take place as possible. So once again, mad respect to Elianora for calling attention to all of this, because I had never heard of it, certainly, and I know a lot of people hadn't as well, through putting herself in the crosshairs of essentially public relations, and thereby making this a much more visible issue. Because whether it's ineptitude or malicious intent, either way, people were getting screwed and hurt through this, and so attention needed to get focused on it one way or another. So thank you all kindly for watching, and for putting up with my all-over-the-place commentary for this one. I'm Kinsmarck here at Let's Level Press. Happy holidays to you, because I will not see you, actually, like, in real time, until I've already come home from them. And as always, I wish you all good gaming, and Godspeed.